Hey guys, what's up? Thank TV here. So I originally was gonna have a really long video about my top 15 horror movies, which is this video. But I was running out of storage space, and I thought you guys aren't gonna want to hear me for 38 freaking minutes, rattling off about these movies. So what I'm doing right now is I'm gonna be naming off my top 15 horror movies, and at the end I'll do a slideshow of all of them in order. So okay, let's get right into this. Okay, so I do have them written down on here from number 15 to all the way to 1. So remember, all these are my own opinions, and I would love to hear yours in the comments down below. So please fire up those comments. Tell me your 15 top favorite movies or horror movies. I love to hear them. So yeah. All right, let's get into it. So also, this might be a controversial list. So all right, coming in at number 15. Coming in at number 15 is Pet Sematary. I think it's actually a really fun movie. I love animals, so just the plot itself intrigued me. Just animals and humans dying and them coming back to life to kill people is just a freaking awesome concept. And I think it was executed all very well. And even though I do feel like the ending was a little cringy with the little boy running around, and I thought that was just so stupid, but this is the original Pet Sematary, by the way. But otherwise, it was a fun concept and it was a fun movie altogether. Okay, coming in at my number 14 spot is Fright Night, the original version of Fright Night. Now, this is another movie I felt like that was ahead of its time, like Pet Sematary. Fright Night was just such a fun time to sit through, I think. First of all, I like the concept where this neighbor is looking through his window, being suspicious that the next door neighbor is a vampire. This movie has some great vampire action, great effects, great characters. Ed Thompson was a very good highlight. Evil Ed, I think they called him. I thought that was an awesome name. I thought his character was done really well, and he's what made this movie too. Just every scene he was in, he stole the fucking show, man. And Fright Night is a great instant classic. Coming in at number 13 is The Conjuring 2. So this actually might really surprise you. It surprised the hell out of me because I'm actually not a huge fan of the Conjuring universe. I do like them. But The Nun and the first Annabelle movie were just terrible in my opinion. The Nun specifically, I hated The Nun. That's probably one of my least favorite horror movies ever. It was just so boring. I'm not here to talk about that though. I'm talking about The Conjuring 2. Now the first Conjuring, I was okay with. I was like, it's just kind of mid. So going into The Conjuring 2, watching it, I was like, I had very low expectations, and man, this was really surprising. This is a very good movie, and this movie even managed me to jump out of my fucking body, because I'm not even joking. Some of the jump scares in here just made me go, like I lost my soul some scenes, and that's very hard to do. I'm just saying that right now. I don't get jump scared easily because I'm just so used to horror movies. I just don't get jump scared. But Conjuring had me, man. I liked the Valak, the demon, that you're kind of exploring her more. That's why they made The Nun, but Conjuring 2 did it way better than The Nun, in my opinion. The Conjuring 2 has some great characters, and I feel like the Warrens, played by Patrick Wilson, I don't remember the other chick's name. Also, their chemistry with this family is really well done and really well written, and it's so cool. And to think that this is based on a true story just still haunts me. Okay, coming in at number 12. Coming in at my number 12 spot is Smile. This is one of the most surprising movies. I will be doing a review of this movie actually coming later. next week, or maybe within the next 2 weeks, I will be talking about Smile, because Smile was... I watched this guy's video, and I like it a lot more than I did, because when I first watched this, I liked this movie, but now that I have a deeper connection and kind of feel of the movie, I will tell you more about that in my review. Smile was like Truth or Dare, that really dumb movie where people smile. It was basically that done right. Smile was freaking awesome, man. I mean, the main girl, don't remember her name. She's like a psychiatrist, and I love that concept that a psychiatrist is a main character and does a main role in this, and I think that's awesome to see as she basically goes insane, which is awesome, honestly. And some of the effects, the fucking part where the like smile demon rips its face, that is terrifying. This movie was so well written, so well done. Basically, it's like I said, it's Truth or Dare done right, and that's why I give this movie major respect. Coming in at number 11, Us by Jordan Peele was a very good movie. Very good concept. First of all, the costume designs are awesome. Some of the scenes are really well put together. Like that one part where the guy's like moving back into the car, and the twist. You gotta have that Jordan Peele twist at the end, though. I was kind of expecting it, actually. It was still a fun movie to sit through. And just the concept, like I said, it's terrifying itself. Like seeing a duplicate copy of you in a red suit that kills people, terrifying. It already sold me off by the plot. So Us came in at my number 11 spot. Coming in at my number 10 spot. My number 10 spot is Slither, which is a James Gunn movie. Surprisingly saying that is because he's directed Guardians of the Galaxy, Guardians 2, a whole bunch of other movies, like superhero movies. So I think this is one of his first films, and James Gunn never misses, man. This was an instant classic for me. Even though it didn't come in like the 1990... This is a 2006 film, I believe. And honestly, this was a 2000s classic, and we don't get many of those. This movie was great. Now, when I first watched this movie, I gagged. This movie was disgusting at first, and I fucking hated it. Rewatching it now as like an adult, damn near an adult, I enjoyed the hell out of it, man. I mean, it's insane. It literally is insane. For me, it's so insane. It's gross. It's just so fun. It's like worm action. If you're very sensitive to it, this is not the movie for you. But there's like worms. There's like this big lady that gets impregnated, and then she blows up, and worms start coming out and like start eating people and going in their mouths, and they're like trying to pull it out. Great worm action. The movie's fucking terrifying too, if you really think about it. Like, there's this one car scene or whatever. This lady's like trapped in her car, and her family's infected by these worms, and they just have blood makeup on them, and they're just like, "Hi, sweetie, open the door." And I was terrified. I was hooked in from like the beginning of this movie, because basically the guy from The Walking Dead is in here, and I think he just does such a good job as a human, and he gets like impaled with this thing, and it turns him into this big worm creature that is in control of the worm, and one of the best finales out of horror history. Just him like freaking worming around. Elizabeth Banks is a really nice inclusion too. Every character in here is likable. Even the asshole in here, the governor, is likable. This is a great movie. It's fun, and it went by so fast for me. So it's why it comes in my number 10 spot. Okay, coming in at number 9 is Jaws. What can I say about this movie? Iconic theme, favorite animal, killing people, iconic lines. It takes place in the ocean, which is probably one of the scariest places on Earth. This movie did it for me, man. I love sharks as it is, but this movie made me love sharks even more. This movie is so good. The sequels aren't great. I will just say that. So I felt like this movie did not need sequels. I love how they named the shark Bruce. Fun fact: it was actually named after I think was this Steven Spielberg or Stephen King? I think this was Steven Spielberg. He named it after his judge, which I thought was kind of funny. Or is it something else? I something like that. This movie was great. I mean, it made fucking people terrified of sharks. Um, I'm sure of it. Back in the day, like I said, the ocean. And fun fact too, there was a scene where one of the guys is in the shark cage, and an actual, real great white shark came into it and started attacking the cage, and they kept it in the film, and I thought that was awesome. And honestly, this movie just got executed off really well. Great finale too. We're gonna need a bigger boat. Iconic line, sold me off. Just such a great, fun standoff adventure of a horror movie. Actually, I don't really think. Do you count this as a horror movie? Let me know what you think in the comments. Okay, coming in at my number 8 spot. Now, as you guys know, Friday the 13th is one of my favorite horror franchises of all time. Um, but I only have one of the movies on the list, which is Jason Part 6, or Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. I felt like this movie was just like a refresh because the other 4 or 5 were repetitive. Actually, 5 was not repetitive. I mean, it kind of did its own thing, but people... Spoiler alert, Jason wasn't the killer in the 5th one. And that just kind of let people down. So I feel like this is why everyone's favorite Friday the 13th movie is Part 6, because it just felt like a refresh. I mean, Jason had his iconic mask. Everything about this movie is like perfect. It's great. It's Jason killing people for an hour and a half, basically. It's fun. It has great stunt performances, and it's just a fun time. All right, coming in at my number 7th spot. As ridiculous as this movie sounds, Killer Clowns from Outer Space is a fun time, and I absolutely love it. I'm not going to go too much into it because I did do a movie review of that. You guys can go check it out on my channel. Just scroll down a couple of videos. I've actually done like 4 videos back, I think I did. So just basically, this movie's just great. It's so goofy. It's bad. It's so bad it's good. That's basically all I can say about it. It's just a fun time. It has elements in it that's just so fun and creative, like the popcorn scene, where the little clown aliens come out of the popcorn and candy guns. And as ridiculous as it sounds, this is actually a really good movie. So that's why it comes in at my number 7 spot. Coming in at my number 6 spot is Trick or Treat. Now, this isn't just a good horror movie. This is a great Halloween movie. Just the Halloween setting in here is perfection. Probably one of the best Halloween settings I've ever seen in a movie. Anna Paquin does a really good job. She's what makes this movie, in my opinion. Without her, this probably would have been a couple spaces back. This probably would have been my 10th favorite. But honestly, this movie's pretty short too. I remember falling asleep towards the end. It wasn't because it was a bad movie. I was just tired that night, and yeah, basically, it was ending at like hour 16 minutes. I was like, really? Also, all the characters are likable. Some of them are dickheads, but you get to them having their karma and stuff. So that was executed really well. Also, the ending where Sam reveals his true face, I thought that was pretty badass. And I will be getting a Funko Pop of Sam because I love this movie. This movie's great. And it's a great Halloween movie and a horror movie. Coming in at my number 5th spot is the original Scream. Okay, now Scream 6 is also my favorite sequel. Originally, Scream 6 was going to be in my 15th spot, but I just said, I don't think so. So anyway, Scream reinvented horror, in my opinion, man. It just, everyone from just Friday the 13th and Freddy Krueger, there were just so many movies of them, and it's just, everyone was kind of pooped out, you know? But I just feel like Scream reinvented the horror franchises, and it gave us, this was a movie that knows what it is, and it just gave us a really good horror movie, and made horror movies not dead again. It reinvented the horror genre and changed and inspired so many horror movies from today even. So I love this movie. It's bloody, it's great. Neve Campbell does a great job. So many likable characters. Seeing Matthew Lillard as a serial killer is gonna be cool. You know what'd be even cooler? Seeing him as the killer in fucking Scream 7, people! Make it happen. Alright, coming in at my number 4 spot. A Nightmare on Elm Street. I actually have a surprise. So basically, what can I say about this movie? It's iconic. It has a chilling score. The theme music is awesome. It has iconic lines. Robert Englund is Freddy Krueger. No other actor, man. They picked a perfect actor to play a perfect character. I'm just kidding. Other than that, I think this is a very fun movie. Very good Final Girl. The sequels are really bad, so I enjoyed the first one. That's about it. And the third, Dream Warriors. But I love Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger, and just the concept itself of a man who died and comes and haunts you in your dreams. And if you die in the dream, you die in real life. That is terrifying. So, awesome job on that. Coming in at my number 3 spot. Will surprise you. Child's Play 2. Now, I have a soft spot for this. Funny story. When I was little, I was terrified of Chucky. I couldn't even say good guy. I'd be terrified. And when I went to Family Video, it's a store that unfortunately closed down now, but for you guys who are familiar with Family Video, you'll know where I'm going with this. I was terrified to go in the aisle that had the Chucky movies in it, because I didn't even like seeing his face at all. It just creeped me the hell out as a kid. And my mentor at the time, and it's pretty funny looking back at it now. He would take the movies and be like, hey, this movie? And I would be terrified. It would obviously be the Chucky movie. He kind of teased me about it. I laugh at it now, but then I was terrified. Well, fast forward many years later, I kind of overcame my fear. And that's why I have a soft spot for it, because at the time, this was 2 years ago, Family Video was closing down, and I was devastated, man. I used to go there all the time and got like Nintendo games there. I absolutely love that place, and I just walking in for the last time, I actually kind of got a little teary-eyed, because I'm like saying goodbye to a part of my childhood. And why I specifically love Chucky now is because the last movie I've ever gotten there is Chucky, Child's Play, the first one. And I just felt like that was such a accomplishment, you know, and I overcame my fears, and I was willing to watch the second one. And Child's Play 2, man, is perfection. Awesome performance by Brad Dourif. Andy Barclay is relatable in this movie because he's through the foster system. I'm currently in a foster home right now, for you guys who don't know. So relatable, and just seeing that executed on screen with a killer doll was freaking amazing. Funny one-liners in here, very traumatizing kills. This movie just did it for me. And the toy factory scene at the end, hands down, one of the best horror scenes in history, man. Just freaking great. Coming in at my 2nd spot, you guys will hate me for this because this is everyone's number 1 spot. Halloween 1978. Yeah, I know. Your guys are already going to be like, I want to slap him so bad. Now, hear me out. This is a instant classic. I absolutely love this movie. It is perfection. But what just kind of lowers it for me is because the first half is so boring. Like, the first part of the movie is fine, right? Where he kills his sister, and yeah, you get to see a little origin story, right? But from there to like, oh my god, it's so boring. It's basically Michael Myers driving around town, and I guess you kind of get to know these characters, and I guess, you know, you have time for character development, but it's too much. It was just too much for me, you know, too much character development. It was just talking for almost half of the movie, and what basically made this the first half of this movie was Dr. Loomis, played by Donald Pleasance. Rest in peace, man. He stole the show. And it's just the ending that did this movie for me. Like, the ending was, it just made me forget about the last 30 minutes I wasted watching. I'm gonna get comments, man. Just the guy, you know, just walking around town, you know, stalking people. And then it just got, I felt like also this was the movie that understood Michael Myers the most. And I can understand why people wanted to see more. But yeah, this movie was haunting, especially at the ending when he falls off the thing and he's not there. And it just ends like that. Holy God. I can only imagine how many people got chills down their spines just watching this for the first time in theaters. They were probably terrified. Okay, coming in at my number one spot. Coming in at my number one spot is going to be very controversial, and you can slap me in the face through the camera if you really want to. My first spot is Freddy vs. Jason. First of all, there's no other movie like this. You got to remember, back in the day, this was huge. This was huge. Two horror icons, coming together and fighting till death was not common. And this was the first time they ever done it. Kane Hodder, I wish, would have been Jason. Nothing against the actor who played Jason in this one. I felt like he had the best look and had the perfect height. I just felt like he's my second favorite Jason, and I felt like Kane Hodder should have been Jason in this movie because he's the reason why New Line Cinema, I think, did this movie. Also, I can respect this movie so much because they take two horror franchises and combined it together, and you can just get the vibes from that, which is awesome. I mean, the parts where people are getting drunk at a party, basically Friday the 13th vibes, and then you can get Nightmare on Elm Street vibes by this, by Boiler Rooms, and I can just respect them for that, man. This movie's just fun as hell, and Robert Englund, I am so glad they kept him in this, man. If it wouldn't have been Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger, I wouldn't have liked this movie. I will admit. Because although this movie does have cringy dialogue, it does have likable characters, except for the dickhead. I'm glad he got off right away. This does have likable characters. It was just awesome. There were some characters I didn't want to see die, like the nerdy kid and the other girl who was like talking shit to Freddy Krueger, and he's like, "Look behind you." Jason just fucking whacked her into a tree. Now, when I first saw that, I was like, "Oh shit! Oh God!" But man, it's the ending that did this for me. This is the best horror movie ending in horror history. Just seeing these two just go ham at each other, like Freddy Krueger just stabbing Jason, and him like throwing missiles at him, and Jason just taking Freddy and just ramming him through windows, and the practical effects, man, are just perfect. This movie is so fun, and I love it, and that's why it is at my number one spot for my favorite horror movie of all time. Other than that, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I really hope you guys can comment what is your top 15 favorite horror movies are. You can disagree with me. I said these are my own opinions, and if you do agree with me, tell me why. You know, just have a conversation about it. Otherwise, guys, that's my list today. So I thought this would be a little fun video to share. So if you guys like this video, give a like, subscribe, share, and let me know you're 15 down below. Peace out.